Hey guys, I'm back. If you saw me earlier, I'm Hala again. We were talking a little bit about how we don't really think. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Oh.
you can
How we don't really think this game is rookie friendly, because like while the nostalgia of it all is really fun, teams who have experience know what works well and what doesn't work well. So for example, shooting. If my team had a really good shooter one year, like that has the exact same design, then great. I can just use the exact same design and redo it and then fit it for this game. Whereas rookies can't do that. Also, we were talking about the fact that the tasks are a little harder, I think, than usual because they used old games and then made them harder. So that's our thought. Here, do you want this?
There's like a couple of newer rules that we have to account for, especially the fact that you can't just like bulldoze through the pieces. So I'm assuming that make it a little hard to pick stuff up, and you have to actually build your own proprietary intake system that wasn't involved running over the pieces and hoping for the best because you get penalized for that. But also the fact that we're allowed a gap in between like our bumpers could also be like the way to go, and I'm expecting a couple of teams to also fall for something similar like that, or some teams just should have rely on the source, but also relying on the source might also be a bit tricky as well in this game as well.
Yeah, I think bumper intakes will be the number one. Wait, that's it. That was my thought. I think that open bumper intakes are going to be a really big use among teams. Yeah, I think going up to the source is good if you have a really wide thing for them to fall into. But if you have to line up for it, we saw in past years that is really hard for people to do.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thanks, team. We're going on to the next one. Woohoo! Let's go this way.
What do we do this?
Hurrah! I could totally do this solo.
You want to do this?
Should I? All right, let's see. Hi, team. We are wondering what you guys are thinking, and I have a mic for you, and just hold it up this way. Thank you.
Alrighty, so we are looking at what would be best for at least what we're doing as an Ri3D team. We came up with the idea of having a mechanically fixed shooter. So when we since we don't really have cameras, we don't have auto align like a lot of other teams, we just go straight bumper to wall and find the correct angle that will shoot the ball into the hub at all times. Again, no reason to auto align. We've been looking at 2021 and 2022 games, specifically a lot of the top teams from those times, looking at how they made their intakes, how they were able to climb, because the 2022 climb is very similar to the 2025 climb. And we've just been looking at a lot of previous teams and gaining inspiration from them.
Awesome. Anybody else want to speak? Y'all?
Guys, you
in the back? Any thoughts?
your ideas?
We're looking at 2020.
Take the mic.
We're pretty much just looking at 2020 robots. Game piece, either the same or very similar. And strategy-wise, is a bit different, but I think the concepts of the robot is exactly the same.
Amazing.
We were also looking at the possibility of considering if we could have our intake dispense and feed other teams in order to work better with our alliances.
Amazing. Thanks, team. Appreciate it. I got you. Smart. You're right. I got you. Careful, you're going to get introduced on live stream. Can we? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. You look great. You look amazing. Okay, we'll do this later. Yeah. We'll get you later, don't worry. Sorry. Hi, folks. We were wondering what you guys are working on. This is not a good camera angle, but that's okay. Hold.
You can't extend
We
tall
want.
enough to not go under the trench.
Wait, am I stupid?
Camera time.
What are you guys thinking?
Okay.
Yeah. So right now we're thinking about our priority list and what we want to actually have on the robot. There's a few things that we're trying to decide between, specifically the going under the trench, or going through the pathway and climbing,
Trying to go
or the bump. Yeah.
I realized. So I actually realized I might have been mistaken about the trench, and you might just be able to fit over it with any configuration. But
in the manual, it says that the trench is 40 Oh wait, no, I misread. The space underneath the trench arm is 22.25.
Okay.
The total height of the trench is 40.2.
You said fit over the trench?
Fit under.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that creates some choices we have to make.
Yeah.
There's some obvious must-haves for this game. You absolutely are going to need a ground intake. You're absolutely going to need a shooter. That's obvious. We're going to need some form of storage for the balls, like some kind of tank or indexer.
Yeah, we're aiming for at least 8, of course. More than that would, of course, be better for during those like phase shift periods
Yeah.
to collect.
Okay.
But
And we're also thinking ground intake is a must-have because there's limited game elements that exist in the depot and or wait, no, not the depot, the outpost, and like having to herd back to there. The most efficient way to do that would be to have a ground intake pick up the balls and then deliver them. But if you have the ground intake and they're already in your robot, why would you put them back out into the outpost? So, yeah.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much. Good luck. Goodbye, team. We're heading over now to the last. Oh, wait. No, we missed a team. Did we? Did we miss Kendry and them? Okay. We're coming back over this way. The camera cart is moving out of the way. Hi, folks. Hey, folks, can we get an insight into your conversation into this microphone?
Okay, sure. Am I on video?
You are indeed on video
Okay, great.
and audio.
Lovely. We're currently talking about some interesting, slightly cursed ideas. So we want to maximize the amount of fuel you can store in your robot at once, because that's basically the constraint. And so much of the game is devoted to collecting fuel that you need to make the most of it. So one idea we had in terms of how to maximize the amount of fuel you can store is to use the extension limit to basically just make a box and extend that beyond your frame perimeter, so you effectively now have an extra 12 inches added onto your robot and how much you can store inside. So I did the math, and if you assume that you get exactly 12 inches of extension beyond your perimeter, if you optimize that equation, then the optimal robot proportions would be 33.5 in length and 21.5 in width, while staying within the frame perimeter rules. And then it's interesting because having a fairly long robot is helpful if you want to do a through the bumper intake. I'm personally a fan of through the bumper because it's a little bit more robust, and I feel like there's going to be a lot of like driving into each other on this game. But yeah, through the bumper is constrained by the width of the robot, because it's like the width minus 10, I think, is the maximum width for the bumper gap. So having a robot that's like a lot wider than it is long than it is wide is actually also a benefit for through the bumper. This is a weird idea, and I'm not saying we should do it, but I think it's an interesting concept. And it's a cool way to make a good use of the extension rules. Yeah, cool.
Thanks. Anyone else? Appreciate it. All right, Kendry summed it up. Thank you, Kendry. Thanks, guys. Goodbye. We are headed to the next group. Whee! This is driving practice. Hi, folks. Can you let the live stream into a little bit of what you're doing? Into this microphone?
Hi there.
Thanks, Goats.
All right. I guess we're going through a priority list right now. So we're not breaking down the mechanisms right away, but we are breaking down things we want to be able to do. So this can include shooting into hub, for instance. I think we're looking at like a priority of 3 being most important. We have to do it.
Yeah. And 1 being like least important.
Yeah. And yeah, we know that there's 3 levels to the climb, so there's definitely going to be varying priorities on that. Another thing to think about is whether you want to do ground pickup, station pickup, or both. We'll see what we decide as a group, but right now in our little group here, we're thinking ground pickup is pretty important and station pickup is less important, because you can just drop the balls in at the human player station and go from there. Right now we're breaking down defense, and I guess we can update you later with what we come up with on that for our priorities. I don't know if you wanted to talk a little bit about.
We're also like considering the kind of intake mechanism we're going to use. So we discussed like under the bumper, over the bumper, and through the bumper. Just seeing what's gonna be more effective overall, and yeah, seeing what we can realistically achieve in 3 days.
Thank you so much, team. Appreciate you